At 68, John's doctor told him that feeling weaker, well, it was just a part of getting old. But for John, it felt like his independence was slipping away, year by year. A bag of groceries he once carried without a thought now took a deep breath and a careful lift. And playing with his grandkids on the floor? That became a strategic mission to get down, and the even harder challenge of getting back up. He felt a quiet dread, a fear that he was slowly becoming a burden. He was starting to believe the doctors, starting to accept this slow decline as his new reality. But what he found next during a late night of frustrated searching was a simple, natural way to fight back.
This is the story of how a different approach to protein helped him rebuild the muscle he thought he'd lost forever, and the real science behind why it works so well for people over 60. John's story isn't unique. It's a silent struggle happening in homes everywhere. It starts small. Maybe it's a jar you can't quite open anymore, or choosing the elevator over the stairs not for convenience but from necessity. It's that nagging fear in the back of your mind when you walk on an uneven sidewalk, the fear of a fall that could change everything.
This isn't just getting older. There's a medical name for it: sarcopenia. Think of it like a slow, invisible leak in your car's tires. Every day, you lose a little bit of air, a little bit of muscle. You might not notice it day to day, but over months and years, you suddenly find yourself running on flats. Your strength is gone, your balance is shaky, and your body's engine has to work so much harder just to get through the day.
Losing muscle isn't just about not being able to lift heavy things. Your muscle is your body's metabolic sponge. It's the main place your body stores glucose after you eat. Less muscle means less storage, which can open the door to a host of metabolic problems. Muscle is your suit of armor protecting your bones. It's your foundation of stability, the very thing that keeps you upright and independent. So when John went to his doctor, he got the standard advice. Eat enough protein, they'd say. Try to stay active. And John tried, he really did. He ate more chicken, more eggs. He choked down chalky, generic protein shakes that left him feeling bloated and let down. But nothing changed. If anything, he felt more discouraged. He was hitting a wall that millions of people over 60 face, a frustrating biological hurdle called anabolic resistance. It sounds complicated, but the idea is painfully simple.
It means your muscles are becoming hard of hearing. Think of it like this. When you were 25, your muscles had perfect hearing. You'd eat a good meal or get some exercise, and your muscles heard that signal loud and clear. They'd respond right away, repairing and rebuilding, getting stronger. But after 60, it's like your muscles have put in earplugs. The same signals, the same protein, the same exercise, are now just a faint whisper. Your body is trying to send building blocks to your muscles, but the construction crew isn't getting the message.
This is why just eating more protein often fails.
You're sending more supply trucks to the construction site, but the foreman is asleep. You need a way to wake him up. You need a signal that's loud and clear enough to cut through the noise and get the building process started again. John was stuck. He was doing what he was told, but his body wasn't responding. He felt betrayed by his own biology, and despair was creeping in. He thought this was the beginning of the end of his active life. He was wrong.
One evening, after a demoralizing attempt to move some patio furniture, John sat, scrolling through his tablet.
He'd typed in phrases like, "muscle loss in seniors despite eating protein," and "why am I getting weaker over 60?" He clicked through pages of the same advice he'd heard a dozen times. But then he stumbled upon articles and research that changed his perspective. They weren't talking about just more protein, they were talking about different kinds of protein. They talked about how some plant-based proteins seemed to hold a unique set of keys to unlock the very doors that age had rusted shut.
The more he read, the more a spark of hope returned.
He saw studies and testimonials, not from 20-something bodybuilders, but from people like him, people in their late 60s and 70s who had felt that same slide into frailty and had found a way to stop it. The hero of this research wasn't a single magic bullet. It was the idea that high-quality, complete plant proteins could be a powerful tool. And one of the stars of this category was a humble seed, hemp seed.
Now John learned that the hemp used for protein is a completely different variety from its more famous cousin, grown specifically for its incredible nutritional profile.
What he discovered was that hemp protein wasn't just another powder, it was a multi-talented tool well suited for the aging body. It was a complete protein, meaning it had all 9 of the essential amino acids the body can't make on its own, a rare feat for a single plant source. And for many, it was easier on the stomach than the dairy-based shakes he'd been trying. This was John's aha moment. He realized he hadn't been fighting the right battle. The problem wasn't just that he needed more building blocks. The problem was that his internal communication lines were down. He began to see that a high-quality plant protein wasn't just a pile of bricks. It was a better communication system. That night, he ordered a container of high-quality, organic hemp protein powder. As a researcher, John's discovery is a perfect example of what the science is now telling us. To really get why a source like seed protein can be so effective, we need to look at the 3 roadblocks older adults face when trying to build muscle and how the right protein strategy helps break through them. The first, and most important, is that problem of anabolic resistance. Remember the rusty lock on your muscle cells? Well, it turns out there's a master key that can force that lock open. That key is an amino acid called leucine. Leucine is the anabolic trigger. It acts like a powerful light switch for building muscle. When your body detects enough leucine in your bloodstream, it flips that switch, and the muscle-building machinery roars to life. The problem is, as we age, that switch gets stiffer. You need a stronger push to flip it. Older adults may need a lot more leucine than younger people to get the same muscle-building response. Now, let's be clear. The undisputed champion of leucine is whey protein, which comes from dairy. Gram for gram, it delivers the most powerful leucine signal. But here's the reality for millions over 60. Dairy doesn't always agree with them. It can cause digestive upset, bloating, and other issues. Plus, many people are simply looking for effective plant-based options. This is where smart plant proteins step into the spotlight, and the evidence is compelling. Let's start with soy protein. Large-scale reviews of multiple studies have concluded that soy protein supplementation can be just as effective as whey for building muscle and strength, as long as you're exercising. And what about seed proteins like hemp? While hemp doesn't have the high concentration of leucine that whey does, it is a fantastic player on the plant-based team. First, it's a complete protein, with all 9 essential amino acids, including a solid dose of leucine. This means you're not just getting the spark plug, you're also getting all the other parts needed to build the engine. You can absolutely trigger muscle growth with hemp protein. You may just need a slightly larger serving to make sure you're getting enough of that critical leucine to overcome anabolic resistance. The second roadblock is digestibility. You aren't what you eat, you're what you absorb. Some protein sources can be tough on an aging digestive system. If you aren't breaking them down efficiently, those nutrients can't get to your muscles. Hemp protein is made of mostly edestin, a type of protein that is well utilized by the body, making it a great option if other powders give you trouble. Its digestibility is considered moderate to high, a solid choice in the plant kingdom. The third, and often overlooked roadblock, is chronic low-grade inflammation. Aging is often tied to a constant, smoldering state of inflammation in the body. It's like trying to build a house while a small fire is constantly burning in the corner. This inflammation can actually encourage muscle breakdown. This is where the whole food source of some of these proteins offers an edge. Whole hemp seeds, for instance, are a great source of healthy fats, including a type of omega-6 called GLA, which has anti-inflammatory properties. While a defatted protein powder won't have as much, choosing whole food-based proteins contributes to an overall anti-inflammatory diet. The lesson here isn't that one seed is a single magic bullet. The lesson is that high-quality, digestible plant proteins, like soy, hemp, and even pumpkin seed, are incredibly powerful and often overlooked tools in the fight against age-related muscle loss. I'm pausing here because I truly believe this information can be life-changing. If you're finding this breakdown helpful and it's giving you a new sense of hope, do me a small favor and tap that like button. It's a simple click, but it tells YouTube that this is a valuable conversation, and it helps this video reach others who might be feeling exactly like John did, lost and looking for real answers. Thank you. Now, let's get back to John's story. So, what happened to John? He started with one simple, consistent change. He wasn't a smoothie person, so his method was even simpler. Every morning, he mixed one large scoop of hemp protein into his daily oatmeal. He found he actually enjoyed the slightly nutty, earthy taste. He didn't change much else at first. He kept up with his daily walks and did a few simple bodyweight squats while his coffee brewed. The first change wasn't something he saw in the mirror. About 6 weeks in, he came home from the grocery store. He walked from his car to the kitchen, carrying all 4 heavy bags in one trip. It wasn't until he set them on the counter that he realized what he'd just done. No sharp pain in his shoulder. His grip didn't feel like it was about to give out. He stood there for a moment, stunned. It was the first tangible proof that something was different.
The changes kept coming.
After 3 months, his wife remarked that he didn't groan every time he got up from the couch. He felt more stable on his feet, and that nagging fear of falling started to fade. He took his grandkids to the park, got down on the ground to help build a sandcastle, and got back up again without a second thought. 6 months later, he went for his physical. His doctor, the same one who said weakness was inevitable, was shocked. They tested his grip strength, a key indicator of muscle health. It had improved by nearly 30%. His balance tests were significantly better. The doctor was speechless. John just smiled. This wasn't a miracle. It was the result of giving his body the right tools. He was finally sending a signal that was loud enough to be heard. So how can you apply this? Let's make a practical plan.
First, your total protein intake. The old recommendations are outdated. For adults over 60, most experts now recommend about 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight per day. For a 150-pound person, that's about 68 kilograms, this means aiming for 82 to 109 grams of protein spread throughout the day. Second, protein distribution. Because of that anabolic resistance, it's better to get larger doses of protein at once. Aim for at least 25 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. This helps ensure you deliver that powerful leucine signal needed to kickstart muscle growth. Third, how do you use a seed protein like hemp? The easiest way is with a quality protein powder. Look for one that's organic and third-party tested. A typical serving of hemp protein will give you about 20 grams of complete protein. You can do what John did and add a scoop to your oatmeal. You can blend it into a smoothie or mix it into yogurt. The goal is consistency. Aim for 1 or 2 scoops a day, especially in the morning or after physical activity. And that's the final piece. You must include a stimulus. Protein provides the building blocks, but exercise is the signal to build. You don't have to become a bodybuilder. Start with consistent walking. Add in simple resistance exercises, body weight squats, wall push-ups, or light resistance bands. Challenge your muscles enough to signal that they are needed. When that signal meets the right building blocks, your body has no choice but to respond. John's story isn't about a magic seed. It's about a powerful shift in understanding. It's undeniable proof that feeling weaker is not an inevitable sentence of aging. It's a condition, and it can be managed, halted, and in many cases significantly improved. The frailty we've been taught to accept is, for many, a choice. The power to rebuild your strength and restore your confidence is already in you. It starts with rejecting the myth that your best days are behind you. It continues by understanding that your body's needs have changed, and it's fulfilled by giving your body the right tools and signals to do the job. You have the ability to turn that switch back on. A seed protein was John's key, but the bigger discovery was that a key existed at all. Your key might be hemp, it might be soy, it might be pumpkin seed. The important thing is to start turning the lock. If this message resonated with you, please subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based strategies to age powerfully. More importantly, share this video with a friend, a parent, or anyone who needs to hear that it is never too late to get stronger. Finally, let's build a community of action right here. In the comments below, tell me one simple change you're going to make for your health this week. It could be trying a new protein source, adding 5 minutes to your walk, or doing 10 squats every morning. I read every single comment, and I want to hear your story. Thank you for watching.